According to the DVLA said that over 6,000 people are currently on the waiting list. That means if you book your driving test now, the driving test date you're going to get is around next year, maybe May or April next year. That's how much pressure that is on DVLA now. And that's made the price of getting the services of a driving instructors very, very expensive. And so because of that, a lot of people are now resorting into using their own personal car. And if you are among these 6,000 people, you may have been contemplating that should I just use my own personal car, use it to learn how to drive? Since I have someone who can teach me how to drive, sit by my side, and then it is very cheaper for you. Or should you just use the service of a driving instructor? Of course, it's not cheap anymore. In fact, in many places now, driving instructors charge up to £50 per hour. So among the two of them, which of them is more cheaper and more cost effective for you? Even though I don't have a direct answer to that question, because a lot of people have asked that question. And that's why I brought out this little whiteboard, so that we can use it to analyze it together. At the end of the day, we can reach a conclusion. So let's imagine that you have concluded that you want to buy a cheap car and you want to use it to learn how to drive with somebody accompanying you. Then at the end of the day, your goal is to use the same car to pass your practical test. Now, if you conclude that you want to use your own car, these are a few things you need to have in mind. You need to have in mind that you'll be responsible for the insurance of that car. You'll be responsible for road tax, you need to fuel the car, expenses, MOT, and the risk aspect. This is what we are going to be discussing. Then we'll move over to this side. The first thing is you need to purchase the car. The general mindset now is that I want to buy a very cheap small car. When I buy that cheap small car, I want to use it to practice how to drive. Then when I practice how to drive, when I pass, what I'm now going to do is that I'm going to sell the car. Then I'm now going to buy the kind of car I want. Which is a very good idea. A lot of people are doing it and they are doing it successfully. And many people now, according to DVLA, said a growing number of people are now using automatic cars. They prefer automatic car to use it for their practical test. And that pushes the price of automatic cars up. So there's nothing like cheap car anymore. In fact, because of this mindset, I know of somebody recently who bought a car of £1,500. Cheap car, automatic. By the time he managed to drive the car home, the next morning he tried to start the car. The car refused to start. So as we speak, he has spent additional £1,600 on top of that car, plus £1,500 that he bought the car, 1,500. So that he has spent £3,100. So I hope this will not be your own situation. Let's imagine that you went on Gumtree or you went on Auto Trader. You saw a very fantastic deal. Automatic car, small car, 2,500. You got it, 2,500. Now, the minute you buy this car, there's something you need to have in mind. You need to insure the car so that you don't have problem with the authority. So because your test is next year and you need to start practicing how to drive now, you need to be paying insurance every single month. And because you're a learner driver, the price for learner driver is between £100 to £150. Let's take the smallest. Maybe you just find favor, £100. Insurance company charge you £100 for 6 months. Times 6 equals to £600. Then the next thing you need to have in mind is you need to take care of road tax. The car of this price is usually between £20 to £40 per month. Let's imagine that you got a very good deal. You got £20 for 6 months. Will give us £120. Of course, you need to book your test, which is standard, £65. Then because you'll be driving this car every week, you need to learn how to drive every week, straighten your hand. You need to fuel the car. So let's imagine that you're using this car. You're using £20 every week. The price may be up, it may be down. But let's imagine you're using £20 every week. 20, there are 24 weeks in 6 months, times 24. You give us £480. £480, that's what you'll be spending on fuel for 6 months on this car. Then because this car is a used car, there's tendency that you have to fix something on this car. So let's imagine that the car is a very fantastic car. It didn't give you any issue. All the things you need to do is just to wash the car, maybe service the car. At the end of the month, for the 6 months, you spend £100. And because in the process of you waiting for your test, the MOT expired. MOT in many places is £40. Let's say the Pakistani guy likes you. You give it £20. £20. Let's sum it up. Let's see how much it will give us. £1,365. £1,665. You must have spent £1,665 for 6 months. 6 months. of learning. So now let us go over to using the services of a driving instructor. Let us see how much you would have spent by using the service of a driving instructor for 6 months. Now, every driving instructor or most driving instructor will ask you to do 10 lessons with them before they will feel confident to leave their car for you, so that each time, anytime you want to use it for practical tests, you can use their car. So in many places now, they charge £40 minimum. £40 for 10 lessons is equals to £400. Then when you want to do your practical test, you want to use their car, they usually charge from £100 to £150. Let's say he's a very nice guy. He give you £120, £120, £120. Then the test booking, standard, £65. Now the total now come up to £585. So you see, for 6 months on learning how to drive with a driving instructor, every week you are doing 1 hour. Every week you are doing 1 hour. You're doing for 10 lessons until the 6 months reaches. Then you now do your test. That's how much you'll be spending, £585. You see, this amount may go up, it may come down a little bit, but this is on the average. You just leave it on the average, £585. But if you use your own car to learn how to drive, this is how much you'll be spending. It may go up a little bit, it may come down a little bit, but on the average, this is how much you'll be spending, £1,365. So in these two scenarios, it's not guaranteed that you will pass at first attempt. Something may happen because of nerves or fear. You may fail. Let's imagine that you fail. God forbid, you fail using the service of a driving instructor and you have to go and retake it again. The first thing, you need to go for another practical test. The practical test now, this man is not going to charge you this £400 again. What they will do is simply they will look for that area where you have the serious fault. They will focus on that area. It could be reverse bay parking. It could be spiral roundabout. It could be turning your hand. In fact, recently I know of somebody who, because of crossing his hand while turning the steering wheel, the examiner failed him for that. He decided to do 2 lessons with you, 2 hours. So you do £40 times 2 equals to £80. Then when you want to use his car, he will charge you standard £120, £120. Then you book your test already, £65. The total will get £265. So when you add this one to one, the first one you did and this one, you see, at the end of the day, you have spent £850. So by this time, maybe you passed here. You have spent £850. But let's come back here. Maybe something happened, you failed. Remember, you have a higher risk of failure here. You have a lower risk of failure here, even though the two of them are not guaranteed. But you have, this here is low, here is higher. So let's imagine that you failed here and you need to retake the test for another 6 months. You need to wait for another 6 months. Remember, for that 6 months you are waiting, you need to continue to pay, service the insurance. Remember, the insurance for 6 months here is 600. The road tax for 6 months here is 120. The test, you need to book the test, standard, £65. You need to fuel the car, £480, standard, everything remains constant. Then expenses, maybe you do additional £100 on top of the car. So if you put everything together, you realize that here you are doing additional £1,300. Approximately, you are doing £1,300. So if you add it together with this one, you realize that you have done £2,600. So look at 2,600 and 850. Do you see the difference? Now, when you use the service of a driving instructor, notice something here. You don't need to worry yourself about insurance. You don't need to worry yourself about road tax. All you just need to do, book your test. Fuel, none of your business. Expenses on the car, none of your business. MOT, none of your business. You can see it now. Now, if you come to the risk aspect, when you use your own car, your risk is 50%. The reason is this. Because your car does not have dual emergency brake, for that reason, your risk is 50%. Should in case you want to go and collide on something or somebody wants to come and hit you, the person who is teaching you how to drive does not have control. And for that reason, your risk is 50%. And here, driving instructor, the risk is 15%. Because under his seat, he has emergency brake, dual control. You can quickly step on it when you are going into danger. And the worst of all of them is what I call temptation. Temptation. What do I mean? Because we are living in a part of the world where everybody is busy. It could be when you are less busy, the person who is teaching you how to drive may not be less busy. Now, there's this temptation that you want to step into this car. Let me just turn around. Let me just teach myself. Or what he has taught me, let me just practicalize it. Or it could be that you booked a taxi and the taxi is not coming on time and you need to get to somewhere quickly. Just like, oh, let me just get into this car. Since I'm paying insurance on this car, let me just move it. That's where the temptation comes in. And the minute you step into this car, your insurance has become null and void. If anything happens at that point, the insurance company will deny you. Because the agreement you signed with the insurance company, you told them that you are not going to drive this car unless somebody who is 18 years of age and have had their license for more than 3 years will accompany you. And the minute you step into that car, you are seen as somebody who does not have insurance. And somebody who does not have insurance in this country is a criminal offense. So if you look at these two analyses, you can reach your own conclusion. Which one is more cheaper, more cost effective? So let me know in the comment section which one you think is more cheaper. I hope you find value in this analysis you make, and I will see you in the comment section.